can't tell him he's not going to win.
Oh wow, like the best, biggest, baddest race is in Hawaii. Like that's what I'm going to do, you know.
He's done it in another sport, and then he's pushing the boundaries in a sport that, you know, he's just started.
Jamie Mitchell, 10 times world champion paddleboard, freak of nature. Jamie's been a really special friend to me. He's introduced me to the community up at Half Moon Bay and Mavericks. He's a good friend and someone I can't wait to be scared with.
For Clint, going out and surfing Mavericks is easy compared to doing the Kona Ironman.
Being out at Mavericks for me is about connecting with the wave. There'd be times where I really would close my eyes and just think I'm finally getting to surf the place that I'd always dreamed of.
Clint's super talented. He could easily be one of the best big wave surfers in the world.
I would always look around and look up at the bluff, look at the pine trees in the background, and really take in the beauty whilst also trying to learn where to sit, how to surf it.
Yeah, he has a special relationship with the ocean. He's got a sixth sense for it.
Some days you're out there in full survival mode. If it's big and it's scary, not only are you trying to catch the best waves, but you're also just trying to survive.
Big wave surfing is just it is a matter of life and death. If you stuff it up, then you could be dead. With triathlon, you don't have that.
Here we go.
He's going. Yeah. Ooh, that's a sick one.
Triathlon is, you know, pretty much the ultimate sport in some ways, especially Ironman. I love that camaraderie that you have with, you know, a fellow athlete like Clint.
He's definitely not one to pump up my tyres. He'll put a foot up my ass when it needs it. Every word that he speaks holds real value, but he's also one of the most supportive, no-frills friends that will tell it how it is.
He's done it in another sport, and then he's pushing the boundaries in a sport that, you know, he's just started.
As a kid, I mean, are you kidding me? Growing up on the Gold Coast, being a surfer, being a pro surfer, you are living the ultimate dream.
Memories of growing up on the Gold Coast is just running around with a surfboard under my arm, always being sunburnt, having blonde hair.
Everywhere you look, there's just professional surfers. The money's amazing at that time. You know, Clint performed. You know, he was winning junior contests. He was the world grommet champion.
We sort of crossed paths a fair bit, but he was pretty gung-ho, you know. He knew what he wanted.
The guy was on a tear, you know. He was one of the next big things coming out of not only the Gold Coast, but Australia, the world.
You know, he knew the right people to hang out with to improve. He was a good talent. He was a great surfer.
But I couldn't get any results. And I walked away scratching my head, just like, what have I done?
To have that come crumbling down on you at a young age is tough.
I thought of a way I could vent my frustration and also show my fitness and strength and the hard work that I'd previously done, and for me that was running. And then all of a sudden I was in the pool at 4 a.m. On a bike, click-clacking around and walking into the cafes in Lycra and getting bagged by all the surfer mates.
Then you got people saying, "Oh, get the spandex off, Clint, go back surfing."
All of a sudden I was more of a triathlete than I was a surfer, and it was weird.
There was a time where Clint didn't want to surf. Like that honeymoon period of training and riding and cycling and learning how to swim, that momentous change going to jail, right? Like, I think that he wanted to just forget about that part of his life for a little bit and forget about surfing and forget about what that represented. And that's why he started the triathlon.
When Clint first started riding with our group, you could see he had a bit of a burden sitting on his shoulders, and he let us know about the time he'd spent in jail.
Through the whole court case, I just thought they're going to see the truth. They're going to realise what's happening here, I'm going to be fine. And then for the verdict to come down of guilty and then be sentenced to jail hits you like a ton of bricks.
When you see the worst of the worst and you make that decision, you never want to see it again, then you're only going to better yourself.
Most people would have maybe given up and just become a victim, in that circumstance, and Clint hasn't. Clint is definitely not a victim.
Clint has some great mates. Recently, he did a bit of a spur of the moment ride from Sydney to Brizzy, and there he is along the way. One of the greatest surfers of all time, Mick Fanning, passing him a drink, and that sort of thing just resonates with me.
Here we go, Clint Kimmins run all the way from Sydney, got him a Red Bull. Go Clint, one more time, brother!
He's just a lord. The guy's a hero to so many people, not just surfers. And I've been really lucky to be able to grow up with Mick and be in the shadows of his career and watch him do the things that he's done within the sport.
I love seeing people that go out and try and better themselves each and every day. And he's an inspiration too. He's like where shit could have gone really bad and really south for him, he turned it around. He's doing really good things. So as I said, I'm extremely proud of him, of who he's become.
Dave's been such a good friend to me in my relatively short time here in Sydney. He's been a good friend, introducing me to the cycling community. He's taken me away on trips, and he's been a guy that I can always call for advice, and someone who always picks up the phone, someone who's always checking in on me.
Clint's one of those people that come into your life, and I think he's one of those guys that you feel like you've known for far, far longer than you have.
I think Clint actually moved to Sydney to make it harder on himself, to be honest. Easy to be a professional athlete on the Gold Coast, but Sydney not so much. Traffic, the weather.
There was a transition period for Clint coming from the Gold Coast, riding a bike in traffic that is literally everywhere we go. It's not like the triathlon meccas of Boulder or St. Moritz.
It's very, very hard to train as a professional triathlete. I somehow have to try and make it work. So by doing that, I've got to spend a lot of time in the trainer. There's times in the garage where it's dark and cold and musty, but I always try and switch off the head and just think the legs and the lungs are still getting the work done.
Clint's a really hard and focused trainer.
Even to just to have your own do-it-yourself gym in the house, to be there by yourself and just to do a half an hour workout, it's hard. It really is hard to get up to do that.
The amount of sweat you produce when you're on a indoor bike for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, it gets a little bit messy. As an athlete, you have to get on with it.
For me, it's this journey of how much can I suffer. Training for long course triathlon and surfing big waves, you're always walking that tightrope. One side you've got extreme fatigue and injuries, on the other side you're not doing enough to not get the results necessarily needed.
When you are at one with the ocean like Clint is, it's more than just physical connection. There's emotional, there's spiritual.
Sydney's not all bad. Whilst it's not great for cycling or running, we're definitely sport for choice with our ocean swimming here.
I think he's really enjoyed that solitude and time just with his own thoughts, swimming out there in the ocean.
Especially through COVID, I've really enjoyed being out in the ocean by myself. And it's like the world underneath doesn't know what's going on above. It's also something pretty cool about being exposed to the elements, whether it be chop or extra large fish that might want to eat you.
Look, I think what you learn in the ocean is adaptation. No 2 days are ever the same. No 2 waves are the same.
And I really just feel at one when I'm out there. I feel like that's my home. This is my home ground.
When you're out there and you're in tune with the water and Mother Nature, and you feel like that you can do no wrong.
My life, existence, and motivation for success has been about doing well enough to be able to travel and race around the world, surf around the world. And now that that's been taken away, I've been scratching my head, sort of pondering who I am what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
I think the world coming in and closing in has been really tough over the last couple of months.
All these thoughts will start, creeping in. So for him, he needs to keep going, keep moving, keep training.
If you don't have anything to peak for, then it becomes very, very tough and mentally challenging.
As a natural competitor, all that positive thought's going to come back. Yeah, I can do this, and proving people wrong.
With COVID, Clint has struggled a bit with not being able to go and even plan to go to the places that he's been and the things he's done in the past, whether it's big wave surfing at Mavericks or the goal and that challenge of getting to Kona and racing again.
It's one of those races that it actually scares you because you know how hard it is. It's the holy grail of triathlon in our sport, I think.
The more I dove into this triathlon career, the more I wanted to qualify for the Hawaiian Ironman.
Oh wow, like the best, biggest, baddest race is in Hawaii. Like that's what I'm gonna do,
It's one of those races that it just raises the bar, and with heat, humidity, the winds, anyone that goes there and races there has achieved a lot in the sport.
Oh, Clint is a competitor. He's a fiery little bugger.
Kona's a different ball game.
Can't tell him he's not going to win. I think that underdog effect it really burns bright in him. I think it's something that he wants to prove to himself that he is the best at what he puts his mind to, and makes him push harder than probably the guy next to him.
To be successful in Kona, you need to find something else and go well beyond that.
To push yourself to the limits in those conditions where it's just scorching heat, humidity, it's got to be one of the hardest races in the world.
He wants to prove that he can be one of the best in the world. If it's surfing or endurance or something like that, it's a fire that gets stoked over and over and over again and just keeps burning really bright.